Today, I will be presenting my project for the Reserve Seas of Singapore, titled Kelong Ecosystems. Firstly, what are kelongs? Kelongs are traditional wooden fishing structures built on stilts that were integral to Singapore's fishing culture, dating back to the 1800s and flourishing by the 1950s, with approximately 300 kelongs scattered around the country's waters. Over time, factors such as land reclamation, overfishing, light pollution, and the introduction of new fish farming methods have contributed to a sharp decline in kelongs, leaving only 4 left today. This is where one last remaining kelong stands today. This project focuses on this kelong near Pulau Ubin in the northeast of Singapore, which is scheduled for demolition by the end of 2024 as a study. The Singapore Heritage Society is exploring preservation possibilities, but with limited support and only 4 kelongs remaining, its future remains uncertain. New sustainable fish farming methods like the Eco-Arc offer better water quality control compared to traditional kelongs, which are affected by pollution and environmental changes. Its closed containment system also reduces disease risk and increases fish yields. A comparison of species caught from the past and present also show that not only the diversity of marine species has decreased, the sizes and quantity has also decreased significantly. Kelongs today are hard to access due to strict regulations, making them difficult for the public to visit. Hence, I compared and analysed a day in the life of a kelong fisherman from the past to my own shoreline perspective observing from afar. The differences varied from noise levels, interaction with water, and surfaces underfoot. This project takes some of this data into account for the future of kelongs. Before embarking on design, a few theories were selected from Lorimer Hodgett's book titled More Than Human to create a framework. Indigenous knowledge practices enrich cultural and sensory interactions with nature. The Eco-Modernist Manifesto leverages sustainable technology to balance human development with environmental preservation, and hybrid geographies emphasize the interconnectedness of human and non-human elements. This creates an approach that weaves human, non-human, nature, and culture through a blend of 3 theories. Applying these theories, several possible programs emerge with different combinations of agencies and stakeholders. By experimenting with different combinations of these programs with various arrangements and scales allowed me to look into what could work for this project moving forward. My design, titled Kelong Ecosystem, aims to use the last remaining kelong as a model to adapt cultural practices and infrastructure to align with future marine rewilding and sustainable fish farming goals. This can be achieved with design strategies such as rewilding with cultural practices, modular parts, and adaptive design expansion and replication. Firstly, rewilding with cultural practices. This is what the last remaining kelong looks like currently. It is split into 3 different spaces: the kelong, a wooden structure where fish are caught; the fish farm, where fish are cultivated; and lastly, a space for fishermen to work and live. This spatial configuration has been created based on how they studied tides and currents to catch fish in the past. This project will adapt the spatial configuration to fit new functions for human, non-human, nature, and cultural aspects, with programs such as marine restoration, ecotourism, living spaces, and farming. Secondly, modules are designed in various ways based on function, forms, and habitats. Modules for marine restoration differ based on the location and depth of water. 3 different zones differentiate the models from 3 to 13 meters deep. Also, materials chosen for these structures allow corals to take root and grow naturally. Moving upwards, the 1 to 3 meter shallow modules take form from the intertidal zones, which alternate between being submerged and exposed with tides, creating dynamic habitats with constantly changing conditions. Modules for seaweeds and seagrass are also designed to promote growth and create habitats for other marine species. Modules above the sea provide functions for different programs implemented. Fish farming modules will constantly be reconfigured throughout the year based on the seasonal popularity of different seafood in Singapore, optimizing fish farming efficiency and meeting market demands. Lastly, adaptive design is implemented in 2 stages, starting with expansion. Every 3 years, new modules will be constructed to fit the growing needs of the Kelong ecosystem. Modules in the sea will also have a slow increment for habitat restoration compared to the fast-growing needs from above water. Ecotourism and education will be introduced with regulations once the Kelong ecosystem has been tested to be stable and healthy. The design will be fully developed by the year 2040. In the Kelong ecosystem, fish are caught following guidelines and transferred to farming modules with seawater treatment systems to ensure healthy growth. Once the wastewater has broken down to become nutrient-rich, it can then be released back into the sea for corals. Green technologies such as solar energy can also be used to power the structure, reducing reliance on external power sources. Human visitors arrive via ferries, while fish and vegetables are harvested and supplied out as food. Modules above the sea are placed strategically alongside breakwater modules and facades to combat the rising sea level of up to 2 meters by 2150. The final stage is replication. A stable and successful module will allow for its replication in the reserved seas of Singapore. Where historical Kelongs once stood, they will each be unique based on their location. Locations of new Kelong ecosystems shall minimize disruption to marine life from boats, which then allows a marine restoration network to form. 10 Kelong ecosystems are projected to be completed by 2060, raising local seafood production to an estimate of 10 to 15% from the current 7.3%. To conclude, my fifth nature will consider both human and non-human needs, transforming Kelongs into an ecosystem that increases local food production while allowing marine habitats to be restored. Thank you.